Hi, my name is Nathan Watkins, and this is my review of the book Theme Park Design Behind the Scenes with an Imagineer by Steve Alcorn. Steve Alcorn was originally a Imagineer in the early 80s working on Epcot and its design and construction for systems engineering. But later he opened up Alcorn McBride, which just had their 40th anniversary. They're one of the main companies that makes industry leading equipment for control systems, video, audio, stuff like that for use at all the major theme parks. The purpose of this book, the reason Steve wrote it, was that he was trying to create almost an intro to themed entertainment design, but also trying to give a engineer's insight onto it. And he wanted to show that insight from beginning of the process to opening day or delivery of a ride. And he wanted to dive into the roles of the engineering side along with some of the creatives as well, but mainly technical roles that you would see inside theme park design. So why did I choose this book? I, as an engineer who is hoping to get into the industry, I've worked professionally for 5 years outside of the industry, wanted to see how themed entertainment applies to an engineering role. And I also wanted to learn about how these roles work in the world of themed entertainment because there's, your buzzword engineers of, main mechanical or principal engineers, but there's also systems engineers in smaller roles. And I wanted to see if this book covered some of that. And I also wanted to learn if there were specific verbiage or lingo that I could learn or acronyms, because looking through some of the job listings online or getting an interview, I wanted to be able to understand what people are talking about if they had questions about this kind of stuff. But often we use our own verbiage inside this world, and I wanted to be able to pick up on that. And then I also was hoping for some self verification in my own role as being a systems engineer, and Steve Alcorn was also a systems engineer back when he worked for Disney, and I was hoping to get a little bit of self validation out of that. My key takeaways was that this was a great reference guide for someone wanting to get the basics of the industry and get some information on the engineering aspects. The author has a great sense of humor, and it makes it a really fun and conversational read. I will say there are two versions of this book. I personally prefer the first edition over the second because the first edition gives a little bit more engineering throughout it, where the second edition saves it for just a chapter at the end. But I really thought this was a good book. Thank you for listening.